I went to watch the team train this morning. That is not good.
I know, yeah.
That is not good.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? For First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today, we deliver you a very special episode of Hot Ones brought to you by Stella Artois, the official beer of Hot Ones Summer. And we're joined by Stella Global Ambassador David Beckham. He's a football legend and cultural icon whose list of bona fides includes 6 Premier League championships, a pair of FA Cups, and the first English player to have won league titles in 4 countries. His contribution to the game doesn't stop there, though, as he's now the president and co-owner of Inter Miami, where we are today, in fact. David Beckham, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. Slightly nervous, can't lie.
Before we start, how are you around hot sauce?
My wife, when I left the house today, she was worried. She was worried. She was like, any show that has paramedics on set is a problem. Okay. It's a good start. Little kick. I'm quite hungry as well. I haven't had breakfast, so.
There you go. We offer lunch here, here at Hot Ones. So you've already made a big splash with your new club, signing Leo Messi to Inter Miami less than a year after his World Cup win. How would you articulate the power a former player like you has in talking to a current star like Messi about such a major career change?
There's only so far you can go on the business talk and contract talks. I think player to player, I think it makes a huge difference. And I came at it as a player that had obviously moved from Real Madrid to the LA Galaxy. It's a gift in the sense of I want to inspire the next generation of young kids that are playing in this country, because at some point the US will win the World Cup. At some point. And it needs moments like this where you bring someone of Leo's magnitude. He's good on the field, he's good off the field, he's the perfect professional. And so if you bring someone like that, then all of these young kids that are watching throughout America, going to watch him in their stadiums, in their city, get inspired. And that's really what we wanted to do. Has anyone picked them apart before like this?
There's something about the mechanics here that is new and novel to me from the side of the table. So one of the things that's striking about that free kick against Greece is it almost looks like you're celebrating it before the ball hits the back of the net, which is something I'll see watching Steph Curry play. He'll celebrate a 3 before it actually goes through the net. Is there a way to describe the sensation of knowing a strike is perfect right off the boot?
Well, you're right in saying, was you celebrating before it went in? Because I was. And that's one of my favorite things to have watched back. For the occasion, for what it meant for the country. The moment I hit the ball, I knew it was in. And you see me running away, which you've just obviously said about. By the way, my armpits are slightly sweating already.
It's all right, a lot of physiological oddities as we work our way through this.
So the moment I hit it, and I suppose I always describe it as a golfer, that moment where you hit that sweet spot. During that game, I'd had probably 8 different free kicks. And it felt different from the rest. I didn't score many goals, so I didn't get that feeling very often, but I got the feeling of that I'd never ever have again, that moment.
Poetic.
Yeah.
And before we dive into the next sauce, should we crack open one of these Stellas?
I mean, it'd be rude not to.
All right, here we go.
Okay. I'm trying to perfect this pour as well.
I know. Well, I heard you're good at the pour.
Well, I'm not bad.
There was some chatter about perfect pours.
Yours is pretty much right.
Oh, that's
Cheers.
a compliment coming from you. Cheers, David. Not a moment too soon.
Yep, I needed that. I watched Gordon's one the other night. Gordon was very, as we all know, Gordon's very animated anyway.
Absolutely.
So I knew he'd question, obviously, how cooked the chicken is.
That is as much anxiety as I've ever had going into a shoot. Not thinking about how the interview would go necessarily, just how Gordon might react to the wings.
Well, Good on him.
What kinds of culture shock did you experience when you first entered the MLS back in 2007 when the league was still a work in progress? Is it true that you would eat Cheesecake Factory desserts for pregame meals?
That's a funny story. And that was probably the biggest difference. When you're on the road, you know, as a team, you normally land on the Friday afternoon, you eat together on the Friday night, Saturday you have breakfast, lunch, and then you play the game. But when I first came here, we'd travel, we'd go out and, you know, we'd get per diem. So we'd hold
little envelope of cash?
Yeah, literally as we're getting off the bus, you'd get handed an envelope and I'm like, what's this? And I'd open it and I was like, cash. It was like, great. And then the day of the game, I thought, surely there's gonna be like a pre-match meal, and there wasn't. So we were in, I can't remember where we were, but we were in the middle of nowhere, and the only thing that was there was the Cheesecake Factory. So I literally went out the hotel, all the young kids had gone to McDonald's or whatever, and they'd saved their per diem. Whereas I kind of walked out and saw a Cheesecake Factory, and that was my pre-match meal, which, Sir Alex Ferguson would have quaked in his boots at that, Nice.
Kind of a smokiness to this one.
I'm not a big barbecue sauce fan, but this is nice.
I'm sure there are aches and pains that all come from like a cumulative effect of this 20-year long career, but I am curious, is there a pain that when you feel it tweak takes you back to a very specific game or specific moment?
I broke bones, my ribs and my hand and my foot and my toes, but I never really had a serious injury other than rupturing my Achilles. But I suppose the worst pain that I feel every single day is my back. And I know why, because I think if you watch the way I kick the ball, I go at a certain angle. And I did that for 20 years, 22 years. So, you know, I read Andre Agassi's book a few years back, and I remember him saying, you know, I knew, you know, it was time to finish because I used to roll out of bed, you know, because I was in so much pain, and I could relate to that. I suppose my lower left side of my back, you know, that's down to kicking the ball the way I kicked it for 22 years.
The consequences of bending it like Beckham.
Yeah, apparently so. I knew you'd get that one in. And how do you select each person? Is it just a wish list?
We're always pitching, you know, we're always chasing an opportunity, but now it is nice because some of the requests are incoming now, which is a nice...
That's a good problem.
That's a good problem to have.
That's a good problem.
That's exactly right.
That wasn't really that hot, this one.
Enjoy these moments.
I know.
You know?
I knew I should never have said that.
Don't fight against your wins here
right.
in this game, all right?
All right.
Do you have a most cherished memory playing alongside or against Zidane, who you've described as one of your football heroes?
I was lucky to have those years with him. And there's a couple of moments, actually, more than a couple of moments that I cherish. I played him a ball in one game. It was about a 60-yard ball, and I was able to just put it in front of him, and he came round and he scored this beautiful goal with his left foot. You know, one of my best assists in my career. There's another moment playing in his last game, his last ever game for Real Madrid. That was special because his emotional side really come out, and that was special. But I think the ultimate moment with me and Zizou has to be the last training session before his last game. I'm sat in the changing room and he walks in and I'm sat there, I'm getting changed, and all of a sudden I see him out the corner of my eye getting up and he's walking towards me, and I'm like, I start sweating like I am now a little bit. And Zizou doesn't say much. You know, he's a man of, few words. He sits down and he said, David, I just want to say it's been a pleasure playing with you for the last few years. And I was like, he then went in to get treatment, and I jumped up, I ran outside, I took my phone and I was like, a couple of my mates, I said, you're never gonna guess what's just happened. I called my dad, I was like, Dad, Zizou just said this to me. So that has to be the moment.
This next one, Onima, actually from Spain.
Spanish.
The Spanish.
Spanish. I was just about to say the Spanish do things really well. That is a bit of a step up.
Yeah. Has that deep pepper, immediate.
I love Spain though.
You know, you don't have to wait for it.
I love Spain. Loving it a little less right now.
I'm curious, when you were watching the Beckham documentary, were there moments in your life that were far different from your recollection of them once you saw the surrounding footage and interviews with other people involved?
You know, for instance, in the '98 World Cup, I hadn't seen a lot of the footage. I hadn't seen, you know, the manager at the time come out and say what he said. It's the first time I'd seen it. I'd never saw one of our England fans stood outside the pub saying, yeah, we hung that noose up there and we took the dummy down. You know, that was quite shocking for me.
And there was so much media hoopla that it only gets touched on briefly. You know, the live studio audience interview that you and Victoria did with Ali G.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you were prepped for that?
Well, I remember being sat backstage in the green room with my wife. And my wife, you know, I wasn't used to doing these kind of things, so she crushed it. She crushed it even better than you actually saw because they cut a lot of her stuff out just to make you know, him look good, and he looked great. I remember just going in and saying to Victoria, "I'm going to let you talk. I'm just going to sit there and just take it."
What's the origin story of the "be honest" meme? Because I understand that Fisher Stevens tried everything in his power to keep you guys separate.
Well, he was angry
during the interviews.
He was angry with me. You know, Fisher, I love Fisher. He apparently wanted me out the house, and that particular day was Victoria's first day of filming. When she was sat there, the door was closed, and then I was about to leave for the office, but I had made a coffee, and then I saw a spare set of headphones, so I put the headphones on. And I heard Fisher talking about, you know, the whole, you know, our parents and our upbringing. And then all of a sudden, I heard her say, you know, we're working class. And that moment, I was like, okay. I headed to the door. I opened the door, and I saw Fisher's face, and he was not happy. And I was like, so that's really, I was like, be honest. The camera guys were so amazing because they literally panned over to me at the door. And that was really a moment that, yeah, kind of went viral, but Fisher was not happy. Fisher was really not happy. Black Eyed Susan. And where's this one from?
It has kind of some late life. This one's from Maryland.
So this is like a slow burner.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah, and that's what you're probably going through now.
Yeah.
As you fight through it.
Yeah.
Me the same way.
That's not good.
Did you have a favorite chant to hear from fans? You know, when Harry Kane was on the show, he said that he's one of our own chant that he would hear from Spurs fans was very important to him.
The fans sing a lot about, you know, older players and players from the past, but I never seem to hear it as much. Maybe because I don't go to many games, but, you know, even on the telly I hear, you know, songs about Eric Cantona and Brian Robson and Roy Keane from Manchester United fans, but I very rarely hear "There's only one David Beckham." That was really the only chant that I ever wanted to hear, and I'd like to hear it again if any United fans are watching. Please,
you know, use
just
the
from time
platform.
to time.
Yeah, let's
just
get
from
the
time
word
to
out
time.
there.
You know, I'm still a United fan. So yeah, just every now and again, just, you know, there's only one David Beckham. Please. I'm not excited about this one. Yeah, that's not good.
And really does not taste good either.
You know, I had a conversation with my mum last night, and I said, I'm going on this TV show tomorrow. Oh. So I'm going on this TV show tomorrow. I said, Gordon's been on it. I said, have a look online, see what you think. So she called me this morning on the way. So I went to watch the team train this morning. That is not good.
I know, yeah.
That is not good. Are these hotter?
The experience that you're going through right now is a singular experience. This is an extremely hot sauce, concentrated and pure.
She said, please don't swear. She said, I saw
You've
Gordon.
held strong.
I've held strong. She said, please don't swear. Swear?
Is it true that you once took down 32 escargots while dining at Chez l'Ami Louis in Paris?
That's my record. L'Ami Louis is one of my favorite restaurants in the world. It's like 100 years old. So when I was playing for PSG, I found this place. And I used to go in there on my own. It used to open at 7:30. I used to go in there at 7. They used to let me sit in the corner. I'd feast and then I'd leave because I couldn't really be seen eating the amount that I was eating at the time while still playing. So I was sat there with my wife one night, romantic meal. We ordered an amazing bottle of wine and I'm sat there and I'm eating and she's just sat there like she normally does when I feast. And she's like, you need to stop, you're gonna burst. So I remember getting the best escargot. But you know, I've been so lucky because I grew up in the East End of London. That's still burning, that one.
Yeah, I know. It forever changes us.
I grew up in the East End of London. Jelly Deals it's a cut up eel and it comes with gelatine. Doesn't sound great,
but you love it.
But as an East End boy, it's what I grew up on. One of my favourite meals in Manchester was chips, peas and gravy. So just French fries, mushy peas and gravy. When I moved to Madrid, I all of a sudden discovered, you know, the Spanish food. And that I absolutely loved. So the jamon and the angulas and the garlic, you know, living in Spain, spending time and playing in Milan, living and playing in Paris, living in America, traveling to Asia a lot, spending a lot of time in China, Japan, all of these places. And I eat anything. I really do.
Case in point, you know, and in those travels, coming on to talk shows where you expose yourself to the wonderful world of hot sauce.
I'm not sure this is a good as experience as L'Ami Louis, but you know,
but you know what?
Experience.
A great memory.
It's a great memory. Actually, it is a good experience. I like it. I like challenging myself. I must have touched the bottom of my nose.
Little hot spot on the face, I've been there before. Just be careful around the eyes, though. That would be the worst place.
Worst place?
Second worst place.
Yeah. Okay.
What would you say is the most impressive thing you've ever built with Legos? Your proudest moment as a Lego master?
My nose is on fire. My sinuses are great, though.
Yeah, right? It's a little give and a little take here.
I don't know what my favourite Lego is, actually. I've done so many over the years. I had the Manchester United, I had Old Trafford, did the Old Trafford Stadium. But I love Lego. I don't care. I love Lego. I just, you know, I love it.
What makes Say You'll Be There your favorite Spice Girls song?
I remember being sat in a hotel with Gary Neville, who was my teammate for Manchester United, and my best man at my wedding. And we had a game the next day, and we're in the hotel, and we sat there watching the telly, and all of a sudden the Spice Girls came on with their new video. And it came on, I think it was on Top of the Pops, and it was Say You'll Be There. I turned around to Gary and I was like, see the one in the black dress? See, actually it wasn't a black dress. See the one in the black catsuit? I'm gonna marry that one. And as you can imagine, we were laughing and joking. And I was like, no, I'm gonna marry that one. And I did.
Yeah,
so,
imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. But we're playing against Chelsea and we're in the changing room getting ready for the game. And one of the players came in and he said, there's 2 Spice Girls here. And I was like, what ones? And he was like, sporty and posh. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. So I played the game, I scored a goal, a great goal actually. I scored a great goal. So I went up and I introduced myself because the manager was a Manchester United fan. And I introduced myself to Victoria and then said hello, and I was there for 30 seconds because I was quite embarrassed, and then I left, got on the bus, and I was like, I've missed my opportunity. And then literally the week after, a player comes in and he says, they're back. Same Spice Girls are here again. And then that's really when I saw my opportunity, because I walked into the players' lounge and Victoria was there and she'd had a couple of glasses of wine, and I was like, okay, here's my opportunity to give me her number or get her number. So, she gave me her number on a plane ticket, and I still have the plane ticket, believe it or not. So, that's how it all started.
It's enough to bring a tear to my eye, and it's not even the wings, David.
Okay, let me do that.
There you go. That's the smart way to do it.
Okay. A little bit of sweetness.
And it grows. But the good news is, David Beckham, the wings of death, they're behind us. You've conquered the gauntlet. And to close things out, your hairstyles, they've inspired trends, they've inspired lore, and they've even sparked some controversies. So to close things out, what we're going to do is pull up some of our favorite iconic David Beckham hairstyles, and you just give us the first couple of things that come to mind when you think about what inspired these eras. And we'll start with the mohawk. Impulsive, or something that was kind of in the works for a while?
It actually wasn't impulsive, because I'd just done a photo shoot where I shaved part of my hair off myself, and then I went into oh my God, I had a game at Wembley shortly after, and as I'm walking into the change room, I take my cap off, and the boss is sat opposite me, and he was like, "Go and shave it off." He literally got a pair of clippers for me, and I had to go and shave that off in the toilet. Oh my God.
Short-lived. Up next, one that I'm partial to, the shaved head, which you actually called your favorite.
It's my favorite because of the ease of a.
That's the lifestyle that I've grown
shaved
accustomed to. I can never go back.
But the shocking, well, you could go back. You could go back.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you can. The shocking part about this was, obviously, I went from having this long, these curtains that I had to that overnight, and that was the shocking part of this. But it is one of my best haircuts, favorite.
Right. And one more for you, the ponytail.
Yeah, ponytail. Well, I'm surprised you've not got the double ponytail up there, the samurai
we can pull
look.
it in the Getty.
It was just long, and that was the only way of keeping it out of my eyes for the game.
And practical, because when you talk about the curtains, or like the bangs, it's practical actually to pull everything back.
It's practical.
When you're in a game of vision.
It's practical, yeah.
And look at you, David Beckham, taking on the wings of death, living to tell the tale. And
I am
now
quite proud of myself.
Nothing left to do but celebrate with a Stella toast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God.
This camera, or this camera, let the people know what you have going on in your life.
Well, this afternoon there's not much going to be going on, but I want to thank you, Sean, because I was nervous about this when I arrived, and I think I did okay.
You did amazing.
My nose is on fire, my mouth's on fire, my nose, I don't know how my nose is on fire. Thank you so much for having me on. Stella Artois have some amazing events coming up and dinners coming up, and I'm really excited about those. But obviously there's also one in New York that I'm really excited about, so cheers to that.
Cheers.
Oh my God, my nose is on fire. Thanks for letting me do it.
My kids.
Honestly, my kids were like, "Dad, I can't believe you're doing it."